We all have our secrets. We just didn't get to yours yet.
Hey guys, it's Neil again from Heart of Texas Armory, and yes, you were watching the trailer for the new Bond film, No Time to Die. Pretty excited for that film, which is coming out in April. I'm a big James Bond fan, so pretty excited for it. But what I want to talk about today is the discussion of the new Bond watch, which you can see on the screen right now. This is the new Bond Seamaster that was announced a few days ago for the film. So I wanted to talk about this and kind of give you my thoughts, and also I'd love to hear your thoughts as well down in the comments section. So please leave your thoughts on what you think about this watch down there. So overall, I think this is a really cool release. I love the overall look and aesthetics of this watch. I love the kind of vintage looks it has with that old radium lume and the indices and the bezel here with the color. All of that looks beautiful in my opinion. So let's jump right into this and break down this watch and kind of give you my thoughts. So right off the bat here, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room here, which is the price for this new watch. You can see it right here, $9,200. So that is very expensive for a Seamaster. And when we look at some of the specs of this, there's not a whole lot of difference between this and the current 300 meter Seamaster. So I don't know why it's priced so high. I'm sure this watch is still going to sell really well for Omega. There's a ton of people that are probably lined up to purchase this on day one. But overall, I think that price is really steep. So let's look at some of the specs here. So the main difference with this Seamaster, this new Bond one for the new No Time to Die film, is that it's constructed completely out of titanium, which is really cool in my opinion. I love titanium watches. I love how they feel on wrist, how light they are. It's just a very cool material for watches in my opinion. So this watch here will be constructed completely out of titanium. So titanium case, titanium bezel, titanium mesh bracelet here. So everything's made out of titanium. So that's the first pretty cool difference here. And if we look down here, somewhere in the description here, it is made from grade 2 titanium. So there are two grades of titanium that are used in watches commonly. There's grade 2 and there's grade 5. Now I prefer grade 5 because it's actually an alloy. The grade 2 here is pure titanium, and I know a lot of people like that because it's pure, kind of like 18 karat gold and 24 karat gold. But grade 2 titanium, the issue I have with it on watches is that it's typically quite a bit softer, so it's not as hard as the grade 5 titanium. So this watch here, being constructed at a grade 2 titanium, is definitely going to scratch. So that's something to consider here. This watch is made to be a tool watch, something that you're going to wear pretty much anywhere from dress environment out scuba diving even, or something like that. So this watch is going to get a lot of wear and scratches, and that's something to consider. You know, grade 2 is very nice. I like the look of grade 2, but honestly I would have preferred it to be grade 5 titanium. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too. Maybe you guys have had watches that are both grade 2 and grade 5, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So that's one thing. So the titanium construction, that is cool. Another thing that they did here is they have a new domed sapphire crystal. So the domed sapphire here is going to be a little flatter. It's not going to be quite as domed. So that's going to make the watch wear a little thinner, which I think that's a good thing. Hopefully in the future, maybe Omega will use that domed sapphire on the rest of their Seamasters, because I think having it thinner overall is better in the long run. Looking at the rest of the package here, so we do have the helium escape valve here on the left hand side, standard crown at 3 o'clock. Looking at the dial here, we already talked about the kind of vintage looks, and that's something that I believe Daniel Craig had a lot of input on, and I think it's pretty cool. These vintage style faux patina styles watches are very popular right now, so I think Omega's did a made a smart decision here to go with that look because I think it's going to sell good, at least right now. So you can see all the indices, the bezel, all of those are in that kind of faux patina vintage look, which looks really nice. Looking at the rest of the dial here, there's really nothing that jumps out. There is this little broadhead arrow here down at the 6 o'clock position, and that is a call out to the British military service. I think it's the Ministry of Defense. So that's what that is there on the dial. So that's pretty cool. We'll look at the back of the watch here. So here we do have the Naiad lock, which is really nice. That, if you're not familiar with what that is, it allows when you screw on the case back, it's going to always be oriented perfectly, just like it is right here. And that's just that Naiad lock, and that's pretty cool. Not all of the Seamasters have that. This one does, and that's cool. Here's a look at that little broad arrow logo again for the Ministry of Defense there. These numbers here apparently are a military serial number, so I believe that is for the Navy, and the 923-7697 or 7897. Sorry, I can't read that. My eyes are getting old, but whatever it is, that apparently calls out a dive watch. And then this A symbolizes a screw down crown here. 007, of course, we know what that is for Bond, and the 62 is in reference to the first film in the Bond series, Dr. No, from 1962. So that's pretty cool. And this watch here is not a limited release. It's going to be an actual production watch, so I think that's pretty cool. And you see the little 007 logo down there. So overall, I really like the design of the watch here. I just don't like that price, of course, $9,200, and the choice to use grade 2 titanium instead of grade 5. The grade 2 is a little easier to machine as well. The grade 5 is a little harder to machine, so I don't know why Omega went with that grade 2. That's just something that kind of bugs me. Looking at the packaging, they're keeping it very basic here. It's not going to come in any big display boxes. It's going to have this folded protective case here, with leather, and I think it's some type of canvas material. So pretty down to earth packaging here for a 007 watch, but I kind of like that. I don't really care about boxes. I don't want a bunch of junk with my watch, honestly. I don't like the overproduced boxes like that. This to me makes more sense, but I know a lot of people are going to want more stuff to come with their watch for that $9,200, and that's understandable. Let's scroll down here, and also it's going to come on a NATO strap too. But let me look through the rest of these and see if there's any the specs here, if there's anything we want to talk about. Same case and all that, the diameter 42 millimeters, 20 millimeter lugs. I do want to mention the bracelet is pretty sweet. So that is a mesh bracelet here. It's made by Omega, so it's going to be high quality, and that is full titanium as well, so that's pretty cool. Apparently it's going to have some new type of clasp system, but I haven't seen that in operation, so I don't know how it's going to work, but apparently it's pretty comfortable and innovative. And Daniel Craig, like I mentioned, had a lot of input into the design of this watch, so that was one thing. He wanted this mesh titanium bracelet. I honestly probably would have preferred a standard titanium bracelet, even like the standard Omega Seamaster bracelet, but in titanium would have been nice in my opinion. But this is cool, I have to admit, and it adds to that vintage look. Here's a close-up look at the dial. Let me play this video here so we can kind of see some of the details. Give it just a second to load here so you can kind of see that. I'll just let this play for a second. So definitely a very handsome looking watch. There's no arguing that. Really like that lume. Let's see if we can find that shot here real quick. That was a cool look. There we go. With that blue BGW9 type lume and then the green on the minutes hand. That's pretty cool, I have to admit, and a little green up here. That is really cool. Another thing I saw was, here's the profile view with that new dome sapphire to give it a more thin case profile. So pretty cool. Let's keep scrolling here. This is standard Omega 8806 movement here that all the Seamasters have. Here's another look at the watch. Definitely a cool looking watch here. But I do want to hear your opinions, guys, so please leave them down below what you think. We'll just scroll through the rest of these. There's probably nothing new we need to look at here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So overall, I think it's a cool looking watch. I'm pretty excited for the film, obviously. I think this is one of the best looking Seamasters I've ever seen, but that price, $9,200, is just kind of ridiculous. And just for reference, I have two other links here. So this is another James Bond watch that was released earlier this year, I think about 3 months ago. Actually really like this one as well too, with that cool looking dial. But this is stainless steel, it's not titanium, but look at the price. $6,500 here. And here's a look at the packaging. So a little fancier packaging versus that canvas watch roll. The case back here is a see-through as well. So compared to this watch here, you know, that's, what is that, $2,700 price difference. You know, that's I just don't understand why they priced it so high. And then the last one here is the standard Seamaster here, which is $5,200. So big difference in price, obviously. You know, almost what was that, $4,000. So kind of shocking that Omega is charging $4,000 for this watch as an upgrade over this one. That's kind of shocking to me. There's no way that titanium is that much more difficult to machine. I mean, other companies can do it. The material obviously is not that much more expensive than stainless steel. So this kind of shows you this price here is kind of ridiculous. $9,200 when you compare it to this one. Just doesn't make sense. But overall, guys, I think it's a cool looking watch, but I do want to hear your thoughts on it. So please leave that down below. Guys, if you have any questions or comments on this watch, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Y'all take care. I'll catch you on the next one.